then I'll wrap up with some key takeaways and what lies ahead for the future of retail in this region. So, what is the current state of retail in Southeast Asia? So right here in Euromonitor, we believe that retail is now for an era. The cost of living challenges continue to remain top of mind for many consumers in this region. And this is really due to the impact of the rising prices, as well as the muted is impacting consumers' spending decisions and their spending sentiment. Indonesia and Vietnam, they continue to remain the largest retail markets in this region. They account for slightly over 50% of retail value sales in Southeast Asia as of last year. And I would like to just go through some key elements, some key findings of our most recent edition of our retail research. And I'll go into them by the various retail categories that we cover. I'll start with grocery. So in grocery, in this region, we see there continues to be a shift towards smaller, modern formats located closer to the home. So this will be, for example, your supermarkets, your convenience stores, and we believe this is because of the wide product variety, promotions, as well as convenience of formats. And we also see many grocery retailers continuing to improve and enhance their digital capabilities. So this will be in terms of their e-commerce infrastructure, this will be in terms of their loyalty programs to encourage consumers to continue spending with them and to meet consumers where they are. In terms of the non-grocery format, we see that this is really a category where the cost of living challenges continue to rear its head. So consumers are more cautious about not just what they spend on, but also how much they spend. And this is particularly the case for discretionary categories like jewelry, apparel, etc. We see a particular theme of retailers innovating in terms of experiential retail. So these will be stores where consumers can engage with the brand and create products and experiences together. And in terms of retail e-commerce, I think a very interesting aspect of our most recent research was that the growth in the e-commerce landscape was really dependent on how mature each e-commerce market within Southeast Asia was as of last. Markets continue to grow. Thailand grew, Indonesia grew, Vietnam grew. But we also see certain markets like Singapore and Malaysia normalize a little bit last year, moving out of the pandemic. We see, like many of the speakers before me today, there has been an increase in usage, particularly in the areas of generative AI, to enhance the shopping experience and to help consumers make better purchase decisions. And we also see elements like social commerce and live streaming, which has really been all the rage in the last year or so, with TikTok Shop and Shopee really driving initiatives in this region. They are really helping to drive consumer engagement and discovery in e-commerce. So now that we have a clear assessment of the current state of retail in Southeast Asia, I would like to move forward to discuss some of the priorities that are shaping the future of retail in this region. So here at Euromonitor, we have identified 5 key themes as shaping retail priorities in Southeast Asia and around the world. I'll focus on the 3 in the middle. So new digital interfaces, and responsible retail. The reason why I chose to highlight these 3 is because these are the areas where we are seeing many and much pertinent involvement of retailers. Many are focusing their efforts and driving innovation in these areas. And I'll share some case studies later on. I'll start with the first theme, new digital interfaces. And this is about how retailers and brands are exploring new ways to engage with customers and to change the way that they transact. And this, of course, includes the use of platforms and tools, such as, for example, social commerce, live streaming, metaverse, etc. Time is important that I take a pause to, explain the graph that's on the slide. We are going to be seeing these graphs a little bit more often in this presentation. So it is, here at Euromonitor, particularly engage with to understand, to hear their thoughts, to hear their expertise, about the trends and innovations that are shaping the future across industries globally. This particular graph is from our technology survey. So many of our respondents here in APAC, they believe that AI, generative AI, and also AR, and the other aspects on this slide, they will be the leading technologies that will transform how their business will operate in the next 5 years. So with that, I'd like to move into some examples how these technologies are transforming the customer engagement and shopping journey in Southeast Asia. And the first example I'd like to give everyone here is Tiki. So many aware, Tiki is an e-commerce pure play marketplace in Vietnam. They integrated ChatGPT capabilities with their AI assistant as of last year. So this AI assistant, we think, is actually pretty impressive because it helps the consumers to be able to find products and brands on Tiki through natural conversations, such as what the previous example from Amanda of Carrefour in Europe. So this Tiki also really helps, by summarizing user reviews to help consumers understand their products better, or rather the products that they want to purchase better. And we see this as particularly innovative because it takes a more solution-driven approach towards e-commerce. And this level of tailored assistance that ChatGPT capabilities are able to offer Tiki users, it really helps to streamline the shopping journey. It helps consumers to be more confident in their purchase decisions on Tiki, which of course definitely means great things in terms of for the other example I would like to highlight, Central Retail here in platform in July last year. So users use AI to integrate social media and the virtual world. Customers can engage in the virtual store, they can order products through a personal shopper, they can also get advice from AI avatars directly within Cverse. So this creates an immersive shopping experience, and definitely Central Retail highlighted that they hope it will be one of the key jigsaw pieces that will aim to drive sales growth of around 15% as of last year. So I'll move to the next theme, which is experiential retail, and this is about forming their stores to offer their consumers memorable experiences. So moving out of the pandemic, there has never been greater choices, and consumers have never been more comfortable than now in terms of shopping across physical and digital channels. So e-commerce now ensures that every product is but just a few clicks away. But what does this mean for the future of the store? So consumers now expect the store to move beyond just a transactional destination, but to become a place where they can engage in experiences, where they can engage with the brand and its community. And this is also a trend that we see in our industry retail survey. So we see that curating store experiences and collaborating with partners will be a key priority for retailers. The first case study I would like to highlight, and I believe this should be very familiar to many of you over here, LV, the just a 20-minute drive down the road from here. So, it is Louis Vuitton's new lifestyle concept store here in Thailand. And what we are seeing is that a very heavy emphasis on the experiential retail elements. So this will be, for example, a cafe and a restaurant in collaboration with Gagananan. There is also an exhibition that's titled LV Visionary Journeys. So this is really communicating the heritage and the history of Louis Vuitton in a very stunning and in a very immersive experience. And I think that's what's key for luxury brands, right? Really being able to tell the brand story, to be able to make a deep connection with the consumers, with their lifestyles, and with what they aspire to be. And this, we feel, is an example of how retailers are evolving their stores with experience, that level of emotional loyalty, and to grow the brand engagement. I would also like to highlight Nike's flagship store in Orchard Road is Nike's largest store in Asia. So two important elements of this store that I'd like to highlight. Firstly, Sush Studio, they call it Studio. So it's a lifestyle space where consumers can engage and join brand experiences that are hosted by Nike and their team, and as well as Nike by You, which is where customers are able to the products that they order through Nike. And we believe this is a very good example of how Nike, as a brand, it is positioning itself top of mind for consumer in terms of the active lifestyle. And this is, of course, can only be enabled by Nike, their brand, and their experiences. So the last theme is responsible retail, which is about fostering a positive and environmental social impact across a retail business. And this includes various elements, right? It includes, the environment, ethical sourcing, transparency, etc. And based on our industry survey on sustainability, we believe that at this point, environment continues to be the top area that's influencing the sustainability priorities of businesses in this region. But I think what is really interesting is that when you look at this graph, social and community well-being is becoming increasingly important. And what this, in our interpretation, what we feel is that businesses recognize, the need to meet their financial objectives, but they also recognize the need to do good and to do right by the stakeholders and the communities that they serve. And the first case study I'd like to point out here is Watsons. So Watsons in the Philippines, they have three pillars: people, planet, and products. So people is about engaging and empowering their various stakeholders, such as employees and communities. Planet is about the impact of Watsons' retail operations on the environment, evaluating their use of paper and plastic in terms of packaging, in terms of their retail operations. Product is about the creation of clean, safe, and sustainable products for their consumers, not just their private label, but also what they sell, and really engaging with consumers to build that level of trust in Watsons and in the brand. So this is an example of how various elements of sustainability can be integrated across the business and the engagement of various stakeholders. And I think, and this is a cause that I'm particularly passionate about, is that in the Southeast Asia region, as countries and as economies continue to develop, tech can be an enabler to improve the lives and the well-beings of underserved communities. Many of us will be familiar. Warungs, they are the cornerstone of grocery retail in Indonesia. Toko Pandai, which is a B2B digital services platform, it helps to digitalize warungs with access to financial services. It empowers warung owners with bill payments and access to capital to help them scale their operations. And I think this is quite commendable because I think at the end of the day, businesses need to achieve their objectives. That's why, business exists, to generate revenue, to generate profits for its shareholders. But at the same time, you can also meet your social and your community objectives, And in this case of Toko Pandai, it's really about creating better livelihoods for the warung owners and their families. So we've discussed quite a bit. We've discussed the three strategies. I'd just like to quickly conclude with what is ahead for retail in this region. So at least in the very near term, we at Euromonitor believe that cost living concerns will still continue to remain top of mind, a very practical consideration. But we believe in the medium to long term, economic growth and retail modernization will be the key factors shaping the future of retail growth in this region. E-commerce penetration, we believe, will continue to grow, and this is reflective of the digital landscape is still maturing. It's supported by factors such as internet penetration, the efforts of retailers, as well as the sticky consumer habits moving out of the pandemic. So, and this is a key key takeaway slide. So, what I wanted to highlight here is that digitalization, experiences, and sustainability will continue to remain the key priorities that are driving the future of retail. And we believe that it's important that you act on these priorities to ensure that your business remains relevant, it remains the preferred shopping experience of consumers in an increasingly competitive online landscape. And Euromonitor, with our data, with our surveys, and our customized solutions, can help you and your organization stay ahead of these trends and maintain a competitive advantage. So that's what I have for everyone today. Thank you for being such an attentive audience. For more insights on how you will support your business, I'm always happy to chat. I'll be here for the rest of the code for our post-event survey if you would like to connect with us post-event. Thank you.
Thank you, Kwan Yao. Thank you so much. I'd like to introduce Shahan Farid, CEO at AquaOrange, and Sean Kwan, Zoho Regional Sales Director, APAC, to jointly discuss the topic, empowering retail excellence through Zoho's frictionless solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, please give both gentlemen a warm round of applause.
All right. สวัสดีครับ So ผมจะเริ่มต้นด้วยภาษาไทยแล้วกันนะครับผม So I speak Thai and ใครมีคำถามอะไรสามารถถามได้เลยนะครับผม right and ถ้าผมพูดเร็วมาก please let me know sometimes I tend to go overboard วันนี้ผมจะเริ่มต้นจาก data retail excellence through loyalty program นะครับ and เราสามารถเข้าใจ data ยังไงครับและ experience ของเราในการ handling data คือยังไงบ้างครับ okay? So achieving omni-channel ก็คือในยุคของ4เราเห็นว่ามันมี transition ค่อนข้างเยอะของ omni-channel อย่างเช่น Line อย่างเช่น WhatsApp Live Chat ผมจะเรียกว่า personalization นะครับผมซึ่งทุกคนตรงนี้ผมมั่นใจว่าพยายาม build customer loyalty program อยู่ครับหรือพยายามเข้าไปในสู่ของ customer loyalty program มีประมาณกี่บริษัทหรือกี่ท่านครับผมที่กำลังนี้อยู่ครับผมตอนนี้ครับ anyone okay alright thank you so ผมอยากจะเข้าใจว่าตอนนี้องค์กรทั่วไป challenges ที่ดูอยู่และมีปัญหามีอะไรบ้างครับผม so let me begin with customer data เรามีข้อมูลทุกที่เลยครับทุก BU มีระบบของเขาเองทุก Sales Manager สร้างระบบของเขาซึ่ง data is all over the place ข้อมูลของเราไม่ได้อยู่ใน unified situation ไม่ได้อยู่ใน unified platform ซึ่งเราสร้างปัญหาใหญ่คือเราไม่สามารถ retain customer ได้เพราะว่าเราไม่มีข้อมูลครบเราอาจจะมีข้อมูลทุกอย่างแต่ไม่ได้อยู่ในแพลตฟอร์มหรือsingle view ด้วยกันนะครับ okay? เรามีระบบ manual process บางทีมใช้ Excel บางทีมใช้ระบบของเขาเองครับ so no information flow in a unified way ก็คือไม่มี SOP ไม่มี standard process okay? ไม่มี standard process ก็คือทุกคนสร้างระบบตามที่เขาคิดว่าถูกครับ and they're getting the data and everyone's getting the data but are you getting the data in the right process okay? อันนี้คือเป็น challenges ของบริษัทที่ทั่วไปมีนะครับผมซึ่งตอนนี้ผมอยากจะเข้าใจว่าเราสามารถมาแก้ไขได้ยังไงครับหรือ opportunity มีอะไรบ้างมันสร้าง opportunity ใหญ่ในยุคของ digital transformation นะครับและ digital transformation มันไม่ใช่ solution มันคือ journey ครับผมเพราะว่ามันต้อง it's a step by step towards success okay? so อยากให้ทุกคนคิดว่าเรามีข้อมูลของลูกค้า single dashboard 360 องศาทั้งหมดของ behavior ของลูกค้าเหมือนเมื่อเช้านี้จอห์น imagine walk into the store they know your name เขารู้จักชื่อของคุณเขารู้จัก behavior ของคุณเขารู้จักว่าคุณชอบ product อะไรบ้างเขาคุยในภาษาของคุณ and that's beautiful right that makes you feel personalized สร้างให้บริษัททำให้บริษัทสร้าง strategy ของ upsell cross sell ได้เร็วขึ้นเร็วขึ้นเยอะเลยครับ อันสุดท้ายคือสำคัญที่สุด cost of หาลูกค้าใหม่มากกว่า cost of retaining existing customer และสำคัญที่สุดเราแก้ไขปัญหาของ technical debt technical debt คือคุณมีหลายซอฟต์แวร์คุณ implement เสร็จคุณสร้างปัญหาใหม่เพราะว่าซอฟต์แวร์ตัวนั้นไม่สามารถแก้ไขปัญหาของคุณได้ so ผมให้คุณ example ง่ายขึ้นเลยครับคุณ implement software tool แต่สร้าง approval process ได้คุณก็หาซอฟต์แวร์ใหม่มาแก้ไขปัญหาตรงนั้นต้องดูหนึ่งระบบที่สามารถของ technical debt ได้หมด adaptive personalization คือสำคัญที่สุดและ actionable data จะได้คุณสามารถที่จะ make decision based on your data wrong data no data right so I present how we coming together with Zoho to facilitate the problem that you have how can we fix it how can we work and how can we solve the problems ที่เราเจออยู่ในวันนี้ครับผม okay? data integration ครับก็คือเราสามารถดึง data มาจากระบบอื่นอาจจะเป็น SAP อาจจะเป็น Line application หรือ Telephony เข้ามาในระบบอันเดียวได้ยังไงบ้างเพื่อที่จะมา support ทุกอยู่ทุกคนในองค์กรแม้ว่า work from home หรือที่ไหนก็ได้เขาสามารถ access ข้อมูลได้ตาม permission ที่เรา set และ data ที่ถูกต้องที่เขาสามารถ action เพื่อที่จะแก้ไขปัญหาได้เขาสามารถดู customer segmentation segmentation คืออะไรครับลูกค้าคนนี้ชอบอะไรบ้างก็คือ actionable data male female what the person likes to eat or to buy actionable data สามารถในลูกค้าได้ในดีเทลว่าลูกค้ามีปัญหาอะไรบ้างและเราสามารถแก้ไขปัญหาของลูกค้าได้เร็วที่สุด how can we solve it fast everyone can solve customer problem how fast can we do it with this what is a predictive analysis that we can do in the technology of AI ถ้าเรามีข้อมูลถูกต้อง predictive analysis จะออกมาถูกต้องด้วยครับ and the best of all ระบบสามารถใช้ได้บน mobile CRM ครับ mobile app สามารถใช้ iPad สามารถใช้มือถือ on the road on the go so wherever you are in the world you have all your information on your phone okay? now we embrace Zoho One strategy what we do is the retailers can turn challenges into growth opportunities empowering business for long term so one tool that brings a solve a problem ในทุกด้านของระบบ operation หมดเลยครับ so now ผมอยากจะอธิบายเกี่ยวกับบริษัท AquaOrange little bit who we are เราทำอะไรบ้างครับผมเรามี partnership กับทีมบ้างครับ so เราเริ่มต้นจาก data ครับเราเป็นบริษัทที่เราโฟกัสที่ data quality data สิ่งที่เรา manage และเราแก้ไขปัญหาของลูกค้าในการ provide solution และสร้าง journey เพื่อที่จะมา solve ปัญหาของหมดครับ okay? เราเป็น partner ของ Zoom Zoho Stable System Google Workspace Splunk ที่เป็นcyber security กับ Exium เพื่อที่จะ make sure ว่าข้อมูลที่คุณมี clean data sustainability สามารถดูในด้านของ green sustainability ได้ด้วยครับ okay? and cloud services and Exium okay? we also provide managed IT services and support ที่มาดูแลเรื่อง infrastructure ครับเพื่อที่จะ make sure ว่าระบบของลูกค้า secure มาใช้ tool ที่
Okay, I just realized I can't speak Thai. So that was very impressive to speak in Thai. I can't speak Thai, so I'm going to go in English, alright? Okay, my name is Sean. I take care of in the region. Now, when I talk about retail, as though retail is not complicating enough, it is ever-changing, ever-moving, ever-demanding. We know retail is challenging. Getting enough, the consumers, your shoppers, are changing. Their attention span is short. They are distracted. They have so many offers. They love this, they love that. In the last 10 years, in my previous role before Zoho, I spent about 10 years in Thailand helping retailers to capture consumer data and analyzing this data. We talk about their profiles, the demographic profiles, facial recognition, how long do they stay, where do they go, when are they coming back again, how much do they buy, and what do they do with their purchases, and their journey, the digitization path, etc., etc. All these data are being captured to do what? To understand how do we tackle this retail, how do we target them so that we can have personalized messages to increase our business growth. That's what we do. Now, in the panel of discussion earlier that we hear all sorts of things about data. From Bata, we hear about data. They need a centralized source of data. From Sephora, we understand that there are too much data, and therefore, consolidate this data, analyze this data correctly, and what about the cost of investment? We didn't talk about that. We all talk about data, we want to integrate data. Integrating data costs money. And like what Sephora said, sometimes this data had too much analysis, leads on to paralysis. That is to say, you don't get the relevant insights, but you spend so much money integrating this data. Is that really worth it? Now take a step back. From your business application in HR, in administration, in sales, marketing, in campaigns, in all sorts of your application, you have software application. And each application does a great job in capturing data, right? We have all this data. Now, when you start to pull data and try to integrate this data with scalability and the interoperability, you're going to have a bit of problems. Today, I'd like to introduce to you Zoho. Zoho is relatively unknown to you in Thailand, but I'm glad to see some of my ex-clients here and my current clients as well. It's good to see you here. It's good to be back in Thailand again. We have approximately about 5 key pillars of solutions. Now, you don't have to remember exactly what they do, but my role is to kind of introduce to you who Zoho is today. Zoho is not a very big company. We serve about 100 million users. We are across 150 countries. We have 55 applications and above, and it's still developing. The key thing that we want to highlight is we develop this technology stack in one single platform. Companies. Therefore, all this data that are being captured with different applications and offering gives you a inert centralized database. Integration is minimal. Customization, because it depends on what you require. This is exactly what you want to do. You don't want to have different applications and finding that interoperability and scalability and integration costs you lots and lots of money, and we're not sure where the data is going to go. So Zoho offers that. Somebody asked me before and said, okay, you have so many of these applications here, right? Starting from administration to sales and marketing, your CRM, your POS data, your retail analytics. Are you trying to tell me to kind of dislodge and throw away all my current software and to use only Zoho? Yeah, of course, that would be nice. But we don't do that. We go back to your initial issues. Do you have problems with your current operations? If you don't have, fine, don't touch it. But if you do have certain issues, that especially with integration, then you should be considering how do you optimize your cost. Managing all these different systems is an issue. Your IP, the complexity, the complications, all leads to a lot of different problems. Now, the data centers that we have, these are some of the presence that we have, the data centers, and as well as the applications that we serve are all around the world. We are extremely anal about security and privacy. If you surf the net later, you're going to find much more information about them. Okay? We can't tell you too much here. We don't have too much time. Shahan too kind of like stop my time on stage, so my time is pretty up. See us at our counter. We will explain to you a little bit more on the kind of collaboration tools we have, starting from your email, starting from your say to different operation offerings. So take a look at that. Now, these are some of the customers that we do across different industries. Look at retail. There are quite a bit of them as well. For those who like to understand more, we'll be happy to share with you what Zoho can actually do for you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Mr. David at Cyber Systems and Private Mushroom, Vice President AJ at Cyber Systems. I know that David's going to introduce Private after his presentation. So both gentlemen will share their thoughts on achieving data harmony, integrating PIM and MDM into your retail.
Zebo is a very old company. We're actually 225 years old. I'll let that sink in. We were printing Bibles for the kingdom. We're at the forefront of our PIM offerings have been on the market for 35 plus years, and we have a capability that extends that I'm going to introduce to you today. Now, to set a bit of context, we've seen a lot of retail industry, particularly with COVID impacting the way people purchase, but we're noticing do people really want an omni-channel solution with perfect loyalty? That's not very realistic. We're working in a real world where customers are one click away from your competition. We also have data challenges of trying to bring together a huge range of information that you need to sell your products. Attribution around pricing, attribution around sustainability, images and safety documents, where you got to do this. However, we found ways to solve this problem using MDM as a holistic solution. Also, data customers are saying that they're ready to have their data used on the information. That means 3/4 of the world has got data that's not ready for use. So what we need to do is deduplicate that information. We need to make a single true view. We need to trust that data and put it through governance processes. Is this affecting you? Is it relevant to me? Yes, about a third of customers say that their revenue is impacted by dirty data. It's the old saying, if you're trying to wash your clothes in a river that's dirty, your clothes won't get clean. You need to have clean data to make clean dependencies or clean decisions on. How do we do that? Because content comes in many forms, many flavors, many languages, many units of measure, mechanism to bring that content into your systems. So we need to manage the different hierarchies or relationships and structures. We need to manage the units of measure, inches and feet, parts and US dollars. We need to be able to bring all those into a holistic single true view. But we also need to manage the non-structured content like PDFs, like Word documents, and the ability to analyze images like Google Vision to be able to put out textual searchability on your image content, but bring that all together into a holistic view. One thing we've created over time, and this is our heritage product, is the PIM solution that manages the products and has a built-in digital asset manager to bring the two worlds together. And of recent, in the last 20 years, we've introduced the customer domain and supplier domain and the location domain to give you a comprehensive holistic solution to same story for most of our customers. How do we get that into our ERP? So we've introduced a thing called product data exchange as a single channel to get your content into your ERP quickly and efficiently. If you're a manufacturer, it also gives you a single channel to reach the omni-channel consumer base that's out there. Publish to Amazon. Don't build your own website. There's a huge global marketplace out there that you can sell to using a single outlet. Now, what does this mean to you? It means your ability to get products on board more quickly, putting the responsibility in the hands of the supplier, as you have more items to no-brainer, that gives you a better portfolio of offering, but it also gives you the ability to onboard multiple suppliers to compare your supplier's quality or price or location and allow you to make negotiable deals to get the better supplier at the better price. But you need transparency on that, and that's what we can offer. Another big aspect of platforms in any digital platform, put your hands up here to do user acceptance testing. Has it gone smoothly? I'll take silence as an objection, but what we're looking for is a technology that people will use. They're going to have to want to use it, and that's one of the bigger aspects of what we've found in the marketplace, is making a technology that's easy to use, works for the people that you're doing, and can be configured and customized for your locale, for your language, for your process, and your structure. So you need a malleable solution to address those needs. And when you've got the data in there, you also have requirements that are very bounded. Compliance. You need to be able to show transparency of where this item was sourced, whether the supplier is a sustainable supplier, and environmental sustainability has become very much paramount. Customers are buying with us as well as their pocketbooks. If you could effectively address some of these concerns, you can also get more done. You can get more products to market more efficiently, and you can reach a broader customer base, which obviously relates to revenue, but also loyalty. If you can address the customer's needs and keep track of what they're wanting and where they're wanting it, you'll have a happy customer, and you can start to address those loyalty needs with loyalty programs and the ability to get the right product to the right person when they want it. I'm getting a bit of a time constraint here. Some of the capabilities in our PIM product include the ability to bring in structured data, to bring in and integrate that to your variables, and also manage that, a workflow to get the right information to the right person approved at the right time for consumption. And obviously, getting that content digital dashboards to show you where your task is, where you need to resource or automate your platform. So workflows and digital dashboards are key to your business decision-making processes. Now extend that past product and into the larger customer domain, or supplier domain, or location domain, or even your reference data. Anything you need to do business with can be brought into our graph database to give you a holistic 360-degree view of your products, prices, and customers. And that can only give you better insights. What does that mean? It means you have the ability to put governance over all of your data comprehensively. You can also provide clean and safe access to your information, to your suppliers or your branches or your B2B customers. And of course, automation. Automation allows you to do more with less. We're in a very tight, constrained world, and AI is now offering more with even less. And we're embracing that automation capability. So, what does that give you? It gives you the ability to have all your domains, your customer domain, your supplier domain, your location domain, and then you can start to get zones of insight between those domains, giving you the ability to get the right address to your customer. The modern world now is, and my daughter does this, she buys 3 or 4 products, returns 3 of them. So she only buys the one. So if you've got the address wrong, that's very expensive for your business, but that's a cost of doing business right now. So give yourself the ability to know where your suppliers are. Do drop shipping straight to the customer. Expensive warehousing can be removed. And zones of insight between your supplier and your product. Get the best supplier at the best price with measuring the quality of their data and the responsiveness of their service. And to give you a quick overview of what we can do for you, we have the ability to manage your products, the attribution, the images, the digital assets and safety documents. We can keep track of your customer, their location, their address, their demographics, their purchasing history. We can also track where they're buying, where they need it delivered to. We can validate addresses empirically and give you The Gartner quote here that if you can automate your processes and you can put governance around them, you're going to build customer trust, both your consumer customers, but also the customers that are your customers. And you can start to make commitments that will be giving you a better respect and position in the marketplace. Now, I'd like to quickly invite up Pradeep, our Steve-O executive,
Thank
and
you, Dave.
also Shan, our AquaOrange representative in the region, to give you a few words.
Thank you, Dave. So if we start mapping the number of times the word data has uttered into this room since morning, and we start putting in a brick, I'm sure it will be through the roof. Data is an issue, is a situation, and that is what we do. So Steve-O system, Dave has spoken quite a bit on the technology side of it. But if I can summarize Steve-O in 2 words, we are data champion and we do retail. We've got a lot of other industry verticals, but the number of customers across the world, retail giants, which has used Steve-O system for the data compliance, data management, you would be really amazed. We are right here. Please come and say hello. Me and Dave and Shahan together, we will take you through some of the customers and why they have selected to work with us. A lot of how we help them is another thing which we have to set up a discussion and set up some other separate time. But we can talk about why Steve-O is such a prominent master Pata Group and MC Group. They were talking about the real data, actionable data, sustainable data, and that is exactly what we do. How do you do I'm going to put my local representation here, Shahan. Shahan represents the Steve-O systems for Thailand, and we together.
ขอบคุณมากครับก็คือถ้ามีใครมีคำถามเกี่ยวกับproduct เป็น product สามารถคอนเนคกับทางเราได้เลยครับผมและถ้าเกิดว่าต้องการดีเทลเกี่ยวกับเทคโนโลยีเรามีทีมอยู่ข้างหลังนะครับผมสามารถคุยกับเขาได้เลยหรือสามารถคุยกับผมได้ทันทีขอบคุณมากครับ
One last thing before we go. So if some of you are who have in Singapore, across Asia Pacific and across global, so a lot of US and Europe guys coming over. So please do come and say hello if you're coming to NRF. And we also have a special discount code. So if you use the Steve-O discount code and register using it, you will get $300 discount straight away. So please come say hello.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now we're almost at lunch. But before we break, I want to introduce our second fascinating panel topic today, retail workforce development training for a digital future. This is moderated by Chanchai Tanakarakul, who's a partner at Kearney. So please make Chanchai welcome. Thank you, Chanchai. Chanchai will be joined by 3 panelists. Wakun, who is chairman of the board for Management Group Public Company Limited. Welcome, Wakani. George Hartle, who is CCO for GQ Thailand. Please make George welcome. Also joined by Promote Jachapun Siripanich, who is Managing Director at Pampuri. And last but not least, our 4th panelist is Ajirawat James Sikamal, who's Head of Marketing at NBD Healthcare. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make our moderator and our panelists very welcome.
All right, thank you so much, and an honor to be here with you years, helping the brand transform and actually ready to grow global. And before that, I was in corporate finance with P&G, some familiar faces around the room. So please and welcome to join our discussion today.
Hi, I'm working with NBD Healthcare, which is locally founded company selling supplement, Vistra. And then before that, I've been with the company for 2 years, heading the e-commerce, digital, and marketing part. And I had worked for L'Oreal for 10 years. I launched a few brands, which some of you may know, Garnier Men. I launched that around 15 years ago. And I launched CeraVe, which is a dermatological brand like 5 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you. สวัสดีนะครับ My name is Chan Chai